239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. And we have the most awesome guest today. Really good friend of mine. Well, we got Shawn in here, obviously. Shawn's in the studio. We got a really good friend of mine, Sheriff Carmine Marceno. Sheriff, welcome.
Oh, thanks for having me, Tim.
Welcome.
And Shawn. Shawn, it's an honor to be here with you, buddy. I love it.
Buddy. Same here.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a fun time.
So this is like a real privilege to have the sheriff of Lee County with us and Shawn in the studio and getting us all together, because we've been friends for how long? We all been friends for
Decades.
I know for me it's been, I think, 21 years at least. Yep. And then I know you've known Carmine probably just the same. Yeah. So it's been a long time.
And none of us have ever changed. I love it.
No, I can say that. No, I can definitely say it. So first off, Sheriff, what do you think about the studio? Did you kind of like it, how it's kind of set up?
I got it. It's an amazing vibe in here. First of all, it's beautiful. The decor is amazing. You come in here, you can immediately feel the energy, especially when you see Shawn McGrail here. I mean, forget about it. It's on.
With Shawn on here, Shawn brings like just such a good light. Look at him over there. He wanted to try to
I wasn't planning on coming in here, but
some things are best not planned. And most importantly, let me tell you, no matter what's happening in your day, and Tim, you know this, you served for decades. We're in the business of what happens next. But no matter what happens in your day, when you see Shawn McGrail, you just feel better. You smile.
Yeah, Shawn is like that guy that just makes everybody like happy.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
This is crazy.
Hey,
I mean, thank you very much.
Hey, listen, your call for service, deputy. Remember, Deputy McGrail in the house.
And you know what's good about it is when we get all together, we can kind of talk and we can just, discuss some of the things and just, sit back and go forth, have a good time.
What I love about this, it's not rehearsed. It's open, real dialogue. Right. Common sense isn't common today, but we have open, real dialogue, and I love it.
Yeah, no, it's been good. And Sheriff, I think first off, what I really want to talk about is over the last couple weeks, 3 weeks, you guys have gotten hit really hard with COVID-19. You've had 3 deaths and a couple people that are in hospital now. Can you just fill us in about what that's like? And that's got to be like the hardest part of your job, being a sheriff.
I'll tell you, first and foremost, my thoughts and prayers are with the families. And I will tell you, me, I think of my family members in the agency as family. It's been tremendously difficult. I mean, we got crushed in the last couple weeks. I'm going on my 3rd funeral service this Saturday. There's just no words that can describe what it feels like. And I was talking about it yesterday with the undersheriff, John Holloway, and I said, John, you'll never know the feeling that I had. It was a crushing feeling when I walked over, taps are playing, helicopters are flying by, and I give this folded flag to his wife, and there's a 10-month-old sitting there. And she just looks at me, and there's no words that I can say to change what's taking place. And most importantly, it hurts me to just sit there and be a part of that. And you have no control over it. And, we do everything we can to protect our family members. And most importantly, to understand is that the majority of the public, they can pick and choose where they go. They don't have to go into a building. They don't have to go to a party. They definitely can choose what they got to do, but we're in the business of what happens next. And with that, when we get that call, we have to go. And here we are, 3 heroes in this agency. The last kid and he's a kid. He's 29 years old, Tim. It breaks my heart. Call for service. He's working for Lee County Sheriff's Office, and he contracts COVID. He is a healthy kid with the rest of his life ahead of him. And now, may he rest in peace. Sergeant Diaz, he was promoted to sergeant yesterday.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable thing that you do.
Yeah, it was very nice at the funeral when you did that and promoted him. And
it hurt. It hurt. I don't fear anything. And those of you that know me, I let it go. I say what I have to say, but the only fear I do have is to ever give a speech over a casket or a coffin that one of my family members is in. It's just, there's no words to describe it. I was crushed.
Yeah, Sheriff. And I think the thing that's got me really concerned, obviously being in that field as well, but the thing that's got me concerned is, 29 years old, healthy, this stuff is really hitting home. I mean, I've got a lot of friends in the same situation. I know you do, Shawn, and I mean, the first round, it was kind of like, hey, it was serious, but it seemed like there were some underlying issues. This case is
and you know,
is different. These cases are different.
You never want to see someone lose their life ever. But when you look at someone that's much more elderly and has some medical issues, again, you don't want them to ever lose their life. But sometimes you look at it and you say, okay, well, maybe there were other things and, you know, they were really up in their age. When you see a 29-year-old who's healthy, okay, contract COVID and die, that's a really, I mean, that's just, it's a horrific event. And it makes you think this can take, this invisible killer can take anybody out.
Yeah, and I think when your position as sheriff, I think in your mind you're putting yourself there as a sheriff, but to come and do these type of things, I don't think you can ever prepare yourself for what you've had to do over the last couple of weeks.
There's no words. And I was talking to a retired fire chief on the way here. And he and I were talking yesterday at the service. There's no words that can express what you feel as the sheriff. And you're looking at, you know, 1,700 people in your agency, and they're all lined up. And you look over and you say, have I done everything I can possible to protect everyone here? Is there anything I could do differently? And when the answer is, you believe it's no in your heart, you believe you've done everything you can, and you're still losing members, I mean, there's just no other, that's the worst day ever. It really is. And it's crushing.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. You know, as to kind of get off that subject, because, you know, we hit that there, you know, it's constantly reminding people just, you know, hey, listen, we got to take care of ourselves, take care of each other. It's important, you know, and I think politics kind of goes out the window. We need to make sure that happens. You know, we had a discussion prior to this that, you know, let's just take care of each other, whatever we got to do to make that happen. I think that's real important. Let me just jump to a little next part, I guess, is very important. I'm, you know, been in law enforcement for a lot of years. I'm kind of on the outside looking in, but I have a little bit of.
Does this mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, does this mean you're coming to Lee County and working with me? That's very important. That's a question we're going to ask, okay?
I have to retire.
You got more years. You got more years, Tim.
Yeah, he's retired, you know? So looking in, I mean, God bless, man. You guys are like killing it up there. This technology stuff you guys are doing, you guys are putting people in jail. I saw your arrest the other day, faster than, you know, you can get a pizza delivered. It's amazing. This technology is incredible. Can you just give us a little bit of what you're doing? So
the most important thing is I always focus on two things. One is guns and drugs off the streets. When you take guns off the streets, you take drugs off the streets, the world's a better place. People rob, kill, and steal for guns and drugs. But listen, it's not only that. Utilizing the latest and greatest technology has really been a game changer for us. Okay, we have my staff, the men and women of the sheriff's office, are amongst the best. They're amazing. And we have people that come to work every day, dedicated, hard charging in areas where they just are, they're off the charts. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. So taking that technology and utilizing that, the real-time information center, you know, being able to have license plate recognition in areas and intersections so that when a crime is when it happens, we need to track that vehicle down. Our analysts are all under one roof. And the other day was a prime example. Here we are. We had an unfortunate homicide. 41 minutes later, he's in custody. And my message is clear. My message is clear. Listen, you commit a violent crime, you commit a crime in Lee County, you're going to jail. It's not if, it's when. In this case, 41 minutes. So I tell everybody, hey, to bring it back to reality, you can't get a pizza in 41 minutes, but we'll solve the homicide in 41 minutes. And you know what? That's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that real-time information center is off the charts. I'm waiting to get up there to see it. It looks
Deputy,
incredible.
You have free access here, okay? But most importantly, let me tell you, people from all over the country are coming in and they want to see what we've done and what works for us, and they're starting to construct their own real-time crime center, which is great. I mean, listen, the more we communicate as not just an agency, but as a law enforcement community, okay, the better we are. Criminals have no boundaries. So the more we work together as a family, no matter what color the patch or uniform is, we're in a better place all around. And look, we have the biggest gang in the world. It's called law enforcement. We win.
Amen. Amen. That's good. So
in schools too, schools seem to be a big safety thing. What technology you guys are doing in the schools?
So and that's a great question. So last year we were recognized in the state of Florida. We won the #1 school resource officer program in the state of Florida. The men and women of the school resource officers are amazing. And we train over 120 hours in active shooter and all the different trainings that we need to make certain we have 100,000 kids that go to school. 6,000 bus stops, over 123 schools. It's a big operation. Tim, I mean, you ran school resource officers, the SROs, for many years, you know.
And how many awards did you get?
we got a couple local ones, you know, but no.
Tim was off the chart. And I'll tell you this, but you realize, you know, people think two things. One is they think when you go to the schools that you're retired on the job. That's not the case. When things happen, you're seeing things in the schools that you don't even see on the road. I mean, you have to look up these statutes, and we have detectives assigned to our school that do a great job. And I'm very pleased. I mean, our children are going to go to school and learn, and they're going to be safe. That's one of my top priorities. So we've done great things. And having that real-time crime center, we're able, with a button, to get into every school right now, real time. So God forbid of an event, we can go in that school with the press of a fingertip, and we see exactly where that person is, and we can go in and we can take care of business. And that we will. That we will.
Yeah, Sheriff. And you know, I've got up there several times and had the opportunity to kind of take some of your stuff back to our agency at the Sheriff's Office at Collier County. And the stuff that you guys have is incredible. I know you have drone packages. You have.
We just picked up the latest drone, Tim. It can fly 18.6 miles away from its target and has all the capabilities of a helicopter. Okay. It's unbelievable what we're doing. We have a drone that's the size of my thumb that can go through hurricane winds, and we can deploy that in houses when we go in with SWAT. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah, I did the drone thing. I got my license to fly the drones, but the way the technology has come, and the infrared, when you're searching for people, they're able to track people down. They're able to find people that get lost. It's amazing.
Our electronic surveillance unit does an amazing job. Our detectives in that unit are out there every day training on the new drones, how to deploy them. Just over the holiday weekend, I was in the real-time crime center on a Sunday, and I was watching the drone show me everything on the beach, all the bridges, and I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. You know, one thing I really take a lot of pride in, we've known each other for a long time, but how you're able to motivate your agency. You're able to lead. I think people love working for you. Obviously, we can't please everybody, right? But I think the majority of folks really do that. With, you know, we have COVID-19, we have low staffing, budgets, things like that. What do you do that really makes you different and be able to lead and get everybody going the right direction?
I think a couple things. One, not sleep.
I do know that too.
Not sleep. And the biggest thing is, and I think, Tim, and I have to compliment you, excuse me, because, you know, I think all along the years that I've known you, and I've watched you climb the ranks, and you've earned it all along the way.
Thank you.
You've never changed. You've never changed. You've always been that caring, good guy, whether you were a sergeant or you were the chief of department. And that's a big deal. A lot of people forget. For me, I mean, they yell at me because I want to go out there, answer calls. I want to be with the guys. And the men and women of the sheriff's office, they're family to me. Whether they change the wastebasket at headquarters or they're a chief, I think of them the same. I truly care. And that's not political. You know me. I say things the way they are, and that probably gets me in more trouble than not. But I will tell you, the way I think they're motivated, and there's a couple things, is that, one, you recognize talent. You recognize talent. A lot of people are afraid. You know, I always want to be the least smart in the room.
Right.
I want to surround myself with people that are smarter, and I want to learn from them. I don't care, bars, stars, trapezoids. It doesn't make you the smartest person in the room. Learn from the people you're with, but most importantly, put those people in the positions where their knowledge goes into it. They know what they want. They love what they do. So I don't have to be the helicopter pilot. I just want one. I want the best one.
Round peg, round hole.
Absolutely. And too many times we see people from the unique supervisors. You know, when I went to the FBI Academy, I learned from some of the best. I really did. I was very privileged, like you. You went, you attended, you know what it's like. You attend, you get some of the, it's the top of the law enforcement.
The experience is unbelievable.
Absolutely. But the people that taught me more than that are the unique supervisors along the way. The people that I learned from, of the things that I didn't want to do. You know, they treat you poorly because maybe they look at you as a threat. For me, I'm not threatened by somebody's knowledge. I embrace it, I promote it, and put them in places where they can utilize it. And I think that's a major difference for me. And again, being regular, you know, I mean, you've never changed. Shawn, you've never changed. I've never changed. We've never changed along the way. And I think sometimes people do. So for me, you know, hey, I'll put a tactical vest on and I'll answer calls for service in Fort Myers Beach. Yeah, I love it.
And I see that. And it goes back to Shawn too, because I remember Shawn, you know, worked in a large company, owned a large company in town. And this guy is out in the back in the warehouse, helping people, making sure that everything gets accomplished, the day goes good, and ultimately the goal is to work as a team to get the job done. And I've never seen an agency come together quite like his business and your agency. It's a big compliment to you.
Thank you. It means so much to me because you know both sides of the coin, both of you. There's no I in team. There is no I in team, and I say it all the time, but we are a great team. You know, I remember when Shawn had his business and they had an incident there. You know, I got up in the morning and I called him.
6 a.m. You're the first one to call me.
I said, Shawn, where do I got to go? Who took care of it? Listen, I got to take care of business. Let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Let's
know,
catch this person who burned it.
I'm up in Lee County, but I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. Lights and sirens.
That's friendship.
There'll be another complaint on it, but that's okay. We'll keep running, you know?
That's friendship. That's
well,
friendship.
one thing of friendship, too, is this loyalty. And loyalty to me has always been what I've admired both of you guys about, because you're incredibly loyal, not only to your friends like us, but you're loyal to your people. And that to me is something I've always admired about both of you, either in Collier and Lee. So talk to me a little about
I appreciate that. And I'll tell you, I learned a lot from both of you. Shawn, for when I came to visit you at your business, you walked around and you gave me a tour. And everywhere you went, you knew who they were, what they were doing, how they did it, their name, their family. So I think really, you know, as a leader, as a CEO of a company, which you are and were at that point in time, walking around with you and watching you interact.
Vice president, but
that's okay. For me, you're CEO. CEO, forget about it.
And you owned it.
You owned it. You owned the establishment.
One of the partners. Yeah.
That's right. But when you walk around and people look at you as a leader, as an owner, as quote vice president, but CEO, they love who they see, and you're an awesome guy, and that's what motivates people when they know their boss has their back and is willing to work with them no matter what it takes. And with is the key word. That's when you're really, you know, you judge a business or the sheriff's office. How does it run when you're there? Well, you really want to judge it how it runs when you're not there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And Tim, you've to your respect, I've watched you in thousands of interactions, and I've watched how you come into a substation during a roll call as a chief. Okay. But you're one of the guys. And you know what? I'll never forget those cases. All the different times that I watch you walk in. Here's a chief of department walking in, and he's rubbing elbows with the troops, joking with the troops, telling them all the different things, how he has their back. That's called success. It really is.
Yeah, and it makes you feel good. One thing, and I know Shawn and I talk about this a lot, one thing that really sticks out, I've probably watched, I don't know, probably 100 of your press conferences. And every single time you always mention your folks that are with you, and it's your family. Explain that. Why is that important? I mean, it goes in line with what we were talking about, but you really, that's your family.
Well, they are family to me. And I'll tell you, Under Sheriff Holloway probably gets a little nervous when I speak at the press conferences, because I say things that are probably a little bit real and a little off the chart, but there's no other way for me. I'm not changing ever. But I will tell you that I do think of them as my family members. And the reason I stand there and I deliver the news of a homicide arrest in 41 minutes, the reason we're doing great things, it's way beyond me. I'm just the sheriff that's announcing that, and I'm the face of the agency. But the men and women of the sheriff's office, they work so hard every day, risk their own lives, dedicated service to others before self. And that's why I always say my success is really my family members, and vice versa. So it's really heartfelt. If there's, God forbid, an officer involved shooting, I don't care what time, day or night, I'm going there. Any incident, I'm going to be there, because they are family to me. And the more we treat people like family, the better the work environment, and people love coming to work, you know. And of course, you're going to have certain people that are unfortunately unhappy most times, no matter what you do. But, you know, those are the people that if you walked on water, they say you can't swim. And that's just it. And they're not going to dictate what we do or how we do it.
No, that's all real good stuff. Now, I know firsthand that you are a huge animal lover. I've been to your house many times.
I've heard many stories.
And you ignore the shit out of me. And then the dogs, you're petting a dog, and, you know, it's crazy.
Well, a dog walks in the room, it's over, you know.
So, but the reality is, you really do have a passion for animals. You've done so much with bringing, you know, the animals to your agency, bring them to the community, highlighting them. How do you do that, and why is it important, and how do you mesh them?
So before I was the sheriff, I've always been an animal lover.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I love love animals, love dogs. And I just, when I got to Lee County, I kind of, there were reports coming through of people abusing dogs and neglecting dogs, and it was infuriating to me. And I always say to myself, I want to do everything I can to make a difference. You know, it's our job to protect those that cannot protect themselves, and zero tolerance on all forms of abuse.
Right.
So what we did, you know, we had, I'm going to use this case for an example. We all know Chance. Chance is going to be the hero dog. And,
yes,
you know, so he won his category. Now he's up against the end today. We'll find out if he wins the national worldwide award, the hero dog. But I will tell you that there were 2 dogs that recently, there was a case where a couple out of state drove through. They went to Walmart. The puppy, very beautiful little puppy, was barking a little bit, so they duct taped the mouth closed. They go into Walmart, they leaves the windows up. Now, they made a very bad mistake. You know what that was? Beyond everything, they stopped in Lee County.
I was going to say they were in Lee County.
Okay, because I don't care if they go to Egypt. We're going to track them down. We're going to hunt them down. They're going to jail. Our animal cruelty response unit, we have detectives that all they do is animal cruelty. Any kind of alleged abuse or neglect, 24/7. They go out,
wow,
and we put people in jail for it. So it's a no tolerance, zero tolerance stance. And these 2, not only did we put those 2 people in jail, but we took both dogs. And now both dogs, I'm proud to say that, you know, in the back of our office, in our records, you know, we have a huge dog pen. And now these dogs are headquarters doggies. They run around. Everyone is happy. You have to sign them out. And I guess it's like a month in advance now that they're just...
They want a dog.
So dispatch, they get the dog for the day. Headquarters, you know, the command row, we get the dog for the day. Everybody signs the dog out, and all the dog gets is love. It's amazing.
All day long.
So it went from being abused with its mouth taped shut to now being loved. And the 2 people went to jail, and we took the dog. So I'm proud of that.
That's great. Great. I'm glad the laws are getting stricter too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I think it's, and how you mesh them into your agency and make them a part is incredible, you know, and pictures and just everybody. I mean, what you do on social media and what you do to communicate with your community is unbelievable. I mean, I know your PIOs work real hard. I know several of them up there. Just fill us in a little bit about how that works so efficiently.
So many times, you know, you look at the fake news. You know, we all know fake news. You know, and I will tell you, there are certain establishments that do a really, really great job delivering what I call as a fair product. I only ask for fair. I mean, no one gets it right all the time, but I ask for fair. So I look at our PIO. We as law enforcement, our community should always highlight the positive things. Unfortunately today, Shawn, what gets the news, Tim? The news is going to be, you know, a shooting. Yeah, of course. It's always negativity, or 99% of it is. So it's our job to highlight the millions of amazing interactions that we have every day that doesn't go on the news. So we highlight it. And I want to do that in a immediate, transparent way. And our PIO does an amazing job. I mean, we got people back there that have worked the road, worked the streets, worked narcotics, worked our busiest districts. And I'm proud of them. I mean, they deliver a product like I've never seen. And more and more, we have engaged at the highest level.
And you do so much for the children too. Everything outside of, you know, the regular day-to-day duties. I mean, we see you at night, you see you at weekends. I mean, you're just constantly doing things with your team or
thank you, Shawn. We've opened up satellite offices. Again, too many people get pulled over and they see the disco ball in their rearview mirror, and that's when they interact with law enforcement. A medical call, a disturbance. We have satellite stations all over the county now where people walk in, they see what services we deliver, which is very, very important. We have teen driving. We have autistic driving. We are teaching children how to go out there and drive. Let's face it, a car it could be a deadly weapon. Okay, how many thousands of pounds? You're on the road, you're texting, God forbid, and driving. So we teach them what to do, what not to do, and how to survive in, you know, a crazy incident. If there's a rainstorm and you have to, you know, immediately brake and go around to do an evasive maneuver, we teach them that, and it's important.
And they could put Jack through that. Jack did that through the Collier County Sheriff's Office. He loved it. Absolutely thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, like you said, having those kids do those things.
Kids are going to be kids. They're going to make mistakes. So let's try to limit those mistakes. Let's educate them, and let's all be safe on the roadway. You know.
All right, Carmine. So let's go back to the basics for a second.
Oh, I knew he was going to bring it back.
Give me kind of like your day in the life and how you fought crime over the years. What's a typical day in the life of Sheriff Marceno?
I'll go with today. Today was an amazing day. I slept about 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and 15 minutes to be exact. And I was at headquarters at 4:30 in the morning. Okay. Between 4:30 and 7:30, I get so much done. I really do. We had an affiliate, a national affiliate come in, and we did a whole big, basic interview on the real-time crime center. It rocks and rolls. And again, it changes so fast. This county's huge. We have 800,000 residents in Clyman, and season over 1.3 million.
Wow.
Spring break, spring training.
Of your agency, how many?
We're just under 1,700. Wow. And I'll tell you, Tim, and this is most important. I say there's no I in team, right? But I got to tell you, first of all, and I know we have spoken about this, our great governor gives us all the tools to get things done. Our attorney general is amazing. General Moody does a great job, okay? But on the local county level, our county manager, Roger DeJarlais, anything I need, I can call him 24/7, and he can do the same with me, does a great job. Our county commissioners it's the best team I've ever seen. It's never sheriff. It's always sheriff. What do you need? And how do we get it done? Never anything but that.
Amazing how if all the different agencies get along and interact and communicate, how smooth everything. It's
at every single level. And I'm not just saying this, at every level, Lee County government is working together. Our county commissioners have been critical to my success. Our county manager, our mayors, we all work together, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And when people work together as one team, great things get accomplished.
Absolutely. Well, I know the 9/11 coming up this week, the 20 years, a lot of shows have been on. And one thing me and my wife were amazed at was when 9/11 happened in New York, how many of those agencies weren't talking to each other. Just everybody had a different system. Nobody liked each other.
And remember, bad people, they communicate better than us. Okay. Criminals have no boundaries. So the same criminal, he doesn't stop on a Mockley Road and say, you know what, Woods Edge Road, okay, that's the Collier Lee line. No, he's going to do what he wants to do. So the more we work together in sync as one team, okay, Sheriff Rambosk, Sheriff Permel, Sheriff Whitten, all of us together, that's the reason the 20th Circuit has the lowest crime rate in the entire state of Florida. It's because of people working together for the better cause.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and you've always been a team player because, like I said, when you were working down here with me in Collier County, it was kind of fun, right? So
it was great.
So
it was great.
We had a great, and I would never go anywhere, and somebody would always say, Deputy Marceno, or you know him? And I said, yeah, absolutely, I know him. A couple times I laughed.
The funniest thing is when I worked setup here in North Naples. On the days I wasn't working, they had a bumper sticker. It was magnetic, and it went on the back of the car and it said, "I know Carmine," because everyone they pulled over said, "I know Carmine." Well,
but that's not easy for people. I mean, you can't take that away from somebody to be out and approach people. I think when you worked in North Naples and you were working in cops and all that, you worked in every different division, and you did everything in law enforcement, but you had the ability and the flexibility to be shaking someone's hand in 1 minute and then making an arrest the next, and to be able to do that. And I think you even saved a couple whales that rolled up on the beach before too.
Well, you know me, back to the animals. Okay.
Yeah, back to the
animals. And I've had some real crazy calls up here. I'm calling out a whole team of people because, I got a whale that's on the beach. I got a manatee on the beach. I'm trying to give it water. Whatever I can do to save it,
yeah. And it's called utility, right? You're like a utility person. And that's why I think you're so successful, because, originally when you get you got the move and nod to go up to Lee County under Mike Scott, a friend of mine as well. You got that nod to go up there. I kind of knew you probably were going to be the sheriff someday, but that's like a huge leap. And then just that utility and ability to do all the different things that's required of a sheriff. It's incredible.
I think most importantly, and Shawn, it's when you give your word, you have to keep your word. It's very important. And you can't, and Tim, you made many decisions as the chief of department. You're going to make some decisions that are just not popular.
Right.
Okay. But when I first came in, you want to make everybody happy, right? You always want to make everybody happy, but in reality, you have to do what's right. what's best for the agency, what's best for the county and the citizens. And some of your decisions are not going to be popular, but that's why you're in that position, and you got to make them.
Yeah. And it's tough to do, you know, and I made him at a chief's level, which is, you know, one down from the sheriff, but being that final decision maker. Tell us a little bit about that as sheriff.
Well, I remember sitting down with Mike Scott, and he says, "Hey, are you ready for this?" And I started to smile, and I said, "Yeah, yeah." He goes, "Listen, your life's going to change." And I'm like, you know, I'm the undersheriff now. I mean, what is it really going to be like, you know? Well, I'll tell you, out of the gate, it was a boxing ring. You know, the first time ever you hear people, you know, it actually hurt my feelings in the very beginning. Now you're just like, okay, just, you know, there's 80% that are going to really think you're great. And 20% if you walked on water, they say you can't swim. And the 20%ers are the ones that would actually have hurt my feelings. But now you say, you know, at the end of the day, I do what's right. I work hard. I give it all I have. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like it, that's okay. That's their opinion. And that's it. You keep moving forward. You don't let it affect what you do. Yeah.
And then you go back, and we'll wrap it up here shortly, but you go back as far as being a hard worker. I don't know anybody who gets up at like 4:30 and works till 12:30 at night. I mean, that's incredible. What does your day look like? Give us a little rundown of your average. There's no such thing as an average day.
No,
how does that look?
Because even when you're done with your day, let's say today when I'm finished, right, I'm going to go home. On my way home, right now while we're talking, people are texting and calling. I can feel the phone going off, right? I'm going to drive home. I'm going to probably get a little something to eat. And then I'm going to start going back into emails and calls, because everybody needs something, right?
Right.
So you just never stop. And at some point, you just, when you get in those 3 hours of sleep, you're like, wow, I needed that, because, you know, I was on empty. And then you go back for the next day and you're full force again. You know, you're never not running. You're running, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know, you got to take care of yourself, enjoy it. And I know you do. You have some hobbies, crank the music.
Love my music.
Hey,
give me the piano, give me the karaoke. Yeah. You know, music is life.
Whatever
give me a little bit of Shawn McGrail. I mean, these are the things that I need. If I get Tim Jarrett and Shawn McGrail in one room, I'm happy. Look at this.
And there's a TikTok video coming out that's going to be up.
Oh, listen, ladies and gentlemen, stand by. There's a TikTok video that's coming out. It's going to be off the reservation.
Yeah, one thing I admire too is like you're able to just, you know, have a good time. I mean, obviously, you know, your circle of friends and your people, but everybody in your profession is your family. So you've embraced that. So that's important. And it means a lot from people looking in. The same. I know Shawn feels the same way.
You know, yesterday, again, unfortunately, to go a little bit backwards, but I'm at that service, and I was standing at a particular point where the agency members were walking by, and I had the chance to greet almost every agency member. And there's probably 1,400. I don't know the exact number, you know. But it was very heartfelt for me, because I see faces that I don't get to see every day. And I look at them, and, you know, I'm walking down with the flag, and it tears you up. It really does. But I'm so proud. And with is the key word. I'm proud to work with the most amazing professionals. They work with me, not for me.
That's it.
And I do anything for them. They really have become my family and my life. And, you know, that's just, it's not going to change.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
And I'm sure they all feel that way too, because I know we do. So you're just a great guy.
Well, Sheriff, we really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy.
Listen, before we wrap up, I think I need a little Shawn McGrail on a TikTok video. Okay, nothing big, Shawn. MC Hammer. I don't know what it is, but just something where we can make it a little bit fun. You know.
What do we got
door here?
What do we got?
You got to see Tim can dance with these crystals. I mean, it's amazing.
For the record, you should have seen him convince me to sit down and do this interview. I was like, I'm going to not do it. You're doing it.
You were going. You were walking. I said, no, Shawn.
And I always let him get the out. I'm always like, yeah, I don't want to push him. The sheriff is like, Shawn, you're sitting your butt down.
Hey, it's very rare that the three of us can get together. And you know what? It's rare that I get down here. And I got to tell you, I'm so impressed. And I mean this. I'm so impressed. I always know that you guys have the ability to reach, I mean, countless people. But this is an amazing studio, and it's doing great things, because we need Southwest Florida, but the world needs someone that can deliver some real, real news, something that people can listen to and say, okay, look, it's not politically rehearsed. It's really off the cuff.
Kind of
covering the fun current events. Exactly. And that's what you guys have captured here. So the 239 Uncensored is off the chart. I love it.
Well, and I'm blessed to work with this guy every day. I mean, Tim's an amazing business partner to have and a great friend.
Tim is razor sharp. Tim's very smart.
Yeah, we have a good time. And the thing about it is we really ultimately we want to have fun. You know, I'm at the point really, my life. I don't want to stop working. I want to have fun. So this is like a good,
if you love what you
opportunity
do in life, you never work a day.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's important.
And that was 31 years. I still love law enforcement.
Of course.
Still there. It's very good not to have to get in
the second you don't love it, that's a day you got to change and you got to go.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And you know, right now I look at my agency and the talent.
Dude,
and the talent is off the chart. Yeah. And we're really starting to groom that younger talent so that, you know, down the road, those are the people that are going to run an agency. Those are the people. So we project to the future and look at that young talent. I mean, just amazing, amazing talent in the bullpen, man. It really is.
Yeah. And obviously, you know, many of the members at the Collier County Sheriff's Office, Tommy Orr, you know, the list goes on and on.
Tom Orr was one of the best undercover set guys I've ever worked with. Tom Orr, that guy never stopped working. Anyway, he had intelligence from everywhere. The guy's a hard charger. And I'm going to tell you, and I tell him every time I see him, I said, Tom, when it comes to set work ethic, I said, you were the best I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah, we just got some phenomenal young people getting involved in law enforcement when it's a tough time to get involved, right? You watch the media, you watch the news, but guess what? We have some true people.
Think about it right now. Would you guys be cautious to tell your son to be, or your daughter to be in law enforcement? It would worry you. Yeah. Okay. Locally, we have the support of our residents. That's a big deal.
That's great.
Absolutely.
You know,
people
they're not
work here for that reason.
They're not marching here. They're not doing. They're here because they want law and order. Okay. Unfortunately, that's foreign words today, right? Law and order.
Right.
Common sense isn't common, but we work together. We have an amazing place. You know, 904 people a day move to the state of Florida, not for sunshine and palm trees. Okay. It's also for the safety. When you have safety and security, people want to be here. And I got to tell you, both agencies, I know Collier's doing very well. We're doing very well. Sheriffs from around the state, we're talking. Our governor recently put that $5,000 bonus, the sign bonus.
Good for them.
You know, he's supported law enforcement since day one.
Yeah. Oh, he's been outstanding. And you know, the men and women that get into it, we still have some good ones. Mike Puka. I mean, the list goes on, and you've got people the same thing that are just up and comers, and we've got to support them now. So, you know, this profession keeps excelling.
You got to project at the future.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to look at the future and say, listen, you know, like Sheriff Scott, like all of us, like you retired as your chief. We all have a shelf life, and we do.
It's a rough one, yeah.
So, it could be. Hey, listen, hey, it's not always going to be a beautiful flight. Sometimes there's going to be some turbulence, all right?
Right.
But you're going to make it through.
Yeah.
So what we got to do is now look at that talent and help them and project for the future and promote them in places where we can later on, when it's our time to retire, you watch your legacy go on with the best people there is.
That's a lot to be said. Yeah. Well, Sheriff, I'd like to thank you. It's been great. It's been amazing to have you down here. I want to have you down here a lot more. I know you get tugged and, you know,
I want
all that stuff, but come on down.
If you bribe me with Shawn McGrail,
Sean,
when he TikToks, I'm here.
He's the big factor. He's the big factor. Yeah.
The kahuna is here, baby. I'm coming.
All right.
True pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great. 239 Uncensored. Everything Southwest Florida. And usually what I say is when we're done, we are out. So 239 Uncensored, everything Southwest Florida and beyond. And we are out. Fist pump. All right. Good job, guys. Thank you.